In this video, we're going to talk about light cookies. Now, Lee, what are light cookies?
Well, light cookies are basically a way to control where a light is going to be cast and where it's not going to be cast.
But wait, I can do that just by aiming the light.
You can, but in the case like with a spotlight, you've got a nice circle. What if you wanted to cast, say, like the effect of Venetian blinds or light shining through a tree?
So they're kind of like a projection gel.
Yes, exactly. Probably the most famous one example I can think of is the bat signal.
Okay.
So if you remember, in the old TV show,
even the most recent movies, they've got the spotlight.
They got new movies.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been locked in a closet too long. But basically, short of it is, you put something on it. You've got a light. You can cast it against an object, and it will display a shape where based on the image that you're using. You'll have light where that image is showing white, and you won't have light where it's black. And if you have a grayscale image, it will have varying light intensity based on the grayscale image between white and black.
Awesome. Well, let's show how to set this up real quick. Here I have a spotlight that is aimed at the wall, and I'm going to apply a light cookie to this to do as Lee suggested, control where it is shining and where it's not. Basically, this is kind of like putting a shape to your light if you want something other than the default shape that it came with. Now, down here I have some light cookie textures. These are very basic. If we take a look over here in the inspector, it's just the numbers 1 through 6, and we'll see a little bit later why I have all 6 of these. But I'm just going to grab the number 1. I will select my light, and here inside the inspector, take the cookie and drag the 1 right into it. Now, this is not going to be enough to actually cause the cookie to do its job, but it is part of the process. We do need to have a texture assigned here inside this reference property. However, there are some settings we need on the texture as well. We need to make sure the wrap mode is set to clamp. That will keep this from repeating out into the distance and give us only one copy of the texture right in the middle of our light. We also need to make sure that we generate the alpha from the grayscale, especially in this case where we have a grayscale image. Click apply, and there we go. So now we are shining a light that is in the shape of the number 1 as designated by, or as dictated by this texture. So now as I rotate the light around, you see it works just like a projector.
Right. One thing you should note when you're making your cookies, you want to make sure that they lead off the black at the edges. If you don't, and you have some sort of white or shade of gray at the edge, you'll see a very sharp line at the edge of where your light ends.
That's right. Now, when you're working with directional lights and with spotlights, you can use cookies like this that are just a single texture. But things get a little more interesting when you want to create a cookie for a point light. Because point lights require, well, what do they need? Like,
well, if you remember, a point light radiates light in all directions. With a spotlight, it's only going in one direction. So the same technique won't apply because now you've got, in essence, 5 other sides that the light could be radiating out from the light.
That's right. And if I switch this over to I'm sorry, not a directional light, but you can see it is working with a directional light quite nicely. If we switch over to a point light, we suddenly lose our cookie altogether. It actually got disassociated. It's completely gone. It's because we need a cube map. Now, we can create our own cube map using these 6 textures that I brought together, but before I do that, I'm going to go through each one and make sure that I set them all to a wrap mode of clamp and generate alpha from the grayscale. So we'll go to number 2 and set that up. And now each time I click on the next one, it's going to ask me to apply. The generate alpha from grayscale property does need to actually be applied to the texture, so that's why you're seeing this little error message pop up. And it's not an error, it's just a warning saying, hey, you should apply this. And I'm more or less saying, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Right, and you'll see on this last one, he'll actually hit the apply button at the bottom to force the update.
Right. So just, to me, that's just a quicker way to do it. I don't know why I like doing it that way, but there you go anyway. So now we have our textures all established. Now we just need to make our cube map. So I'll close up this folder, and here inside the little Zach folder I've created just for this demonstration, I'm going to go under Create in my project view, and we'll create a brand new cube map. Now check it out. This cube map is just sitting here waiting for me to plug in 6 textures, which is awfully convenient because I got 6 textures that are just ready to go. So let's expand our light cookie textures, and I'll just drag each one of these in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number 6. Now, just to be on the complete side, I will take my new cube map. We'll select this, and I'll call this light cookie cube map, like so. Now, if I select my point light, this gets really easy. All we have to do now is take that cube map, drag it onto the cookie, and boom, there we go. And it looks like I probably missed somebody. And at a guess,
like number 4.
looks like number 4 got missed. So let's make sure that did get applied. And there you go. Generate alpha from grayscale did not get applied. So we'll fix that. Come back to our cube map and let's just reassociate number 4. And there we go. So now our cube map is shining lights out in all directions like so. And that's how you're going to need to create a light cookie for a point light, because again, it has to shine out in every single direction. So that is a quick look at cookies. Again, they're just a way to control where your light is shining and where it isn't, or another way to look at it, they allow you to apply a shape to your lights. Again, for directional and spots, you can use a regular texture. You need to make sure that you are set to clamp on your wrap mode, that you are generating your alpha from grayscale if pertinent, because you may end up with a light that doesn't necessarily need to have that. You might have an alpha channel that's already in your texture. Just thought I'd throw that out there. However, if you're creating a cookie for a point light, you need to make sure you use a cube map. That's going to wrap things up for this video. Thanks for watching.